if your village or community has one positive case, and if you live in the contained area and controlled area, if you have any abnormality in your health code, you are not allowed to get out of the city. And for the others, if not necessary, you are not advised to go out of Beijing. And before getting on board, you need to show your nucleic acid test result within the last 48 hours. And also, the railway station, the airport will check up your codes, even if on the highways. And if you go out of Beijing against the rules and regulations leading to the further transmission of the virus, you will be held accountable. And as to the people commuting, they will abide by the similar rules. Since May the 5th, the first time into or out of Beijing need to show your nucleic acid negative test result within the last 48 hours. And also the green code. If you don't have a green code, you're not allowed in or out of Beijing. And also the community level prevention and control measures must be kept as well. As I said, you need to present your negative test result within the last 48 hours in or out of Beijing and your green code within the 12 hours upon arriving in Beijing. You need to go to Jingxinxiangzhu applet to report to your neighborhood committee, your hotel, or your entity. And the entities in Beijing must urge their employees to do another round of nucleic acid test after returning to their post within 48 hours. And you must also be able to show the report, either digital one or the paper version. The paper version will refer to the reporting time, and the negative result, if not coming out, the person related must be kept at home for any office work. And also we advise the employees to go in different hours to commute to work. And on the 3rd and 5th, our city will hold 3 rounds of nucleic acid tests. And we urge our civilians to coordinate with these tests and go to your nearest stations and stay in the line by keeping a social distance and wear your facial masks. And today, in this presser, we have invited Beijing Municipal Party Committee Deputy Party Secretary Li Yi, the Pandemic Prevention and Control Steering Panel Deputy Director, and Beijing Municipal Health Committee Deputy Director General Liang, Deputy Chief Mayor of Chaoyang District, Yang Wei, and from Fengtai District, Government State Spokesperson Li Wei, and from Beijing CDC Branch, Expert Pang Xinhuo. They will brief us about the latest news and take your questions. First of all, let's give the floor to Madam Pang Xinhuo from the Beijing CDC Branch to report to us about any change of the risk levels. Good afternoon, dear media friends. Now, allow me to introduce the status quo of the pandemic in Beijing. On the 3rd of May, there are additionally 32 confirmed cases since the 2nd of May, starting from 3 p.m. till 3 p.m. on the 3rd of May. The newly added confirmed cases are 53, including 27 in Chaoyang, 14 in Fengshan, and 3 in Tongzhou and Haidian respectively, in Dongcheng, Daxing, and Fengtai districts 2 respectively. And there are 2 usual cases, 45 mild cases, and 6 asymptomatic cases. There are 50 cases in the controlled areas and 3 coming from the community level screening. As to the 3 community level cases, their some details. For example, number 553, he is found in the community level screening and he is the delivery man. And according to him, on the 23rd of April, there are some throat pains and cough symptoms. After getting some drugs, the symptoms were relieved. And then on the 29th of April, the nucleic acid test result was negative. And on May the 2nd, the result of the neighborhood level nucleic acid test turned out to be positive. And he has been in contact with a large number of population, so there are high risk of further transmission in the society, and certain risky points are in control right now. As to the source of infection, we are still in our survey. Number 561 infected cases were found through the community screening. They are a couple, and they're living in Longtan Street, Lujingyuan. And number 560 had symptoms of fever on the 25th of April, and he went to the hospital on the next day, and the test result was negative on that same day. But on May the 1st, after joining the community level nucleic acid testing, the test result proved to be positive on the next day, and he was confirmed as a local case on the 3rd of May. And those two people are usual cases. And there are also high risks of further transmission in the society. The risky points are in control right now. The source of infection is being surveyed. Starting from April the 22nd to 3 p.m. of May the 3rd, the cumulative reported cases are 453, covering 14 districts in Beijing. And among them, there are 183 in Chaoyang, 117 in Fengstai, 46 in Tongzhou, 31 in Fengtai, 22 in Shunyi, 19 in Haidian, 10 in Shijingshan, 8 in Changping and Daxing districts respectively, 3 in Dongcheng, 2 in Xicheng and Yanqing respectively, 1 in Mentogou district and the economic development zone respectively. One infected person has led to 3 other infections because of going to the public toilets, and further leading to over 40 confirmed cases. So a reminder to our civilians is to put on your facial mask and clean your hands when you're going to the public toilets. Now, in the society, we're still seeing some insidious sources of infection, so we must check out the source of infection to curb the further transmission. And we must stringently execute the accountabilities on 4 parties, and the entities and different industries must take tough measures by executing the different containment measures. If unnecessary, people are not allowed or advised to go out of Beijing, particularly if they have any abnormalities in their health code. And according to the rules, they must go through the health observation and the test. And especially for the first-line workers, just like the deliverymen working in the front line, must wear N95 or KN95 facial masks. For the civilians, if you go to the hospitals, or if you accompany someone to get medication or treatment in the hospitals, or if you pay visits to the elderly people, the young children, or the people suffering from underlying diseases, or if you receive the takeaway food from delivery men, or if you go to the poor ventilated places, the risk levels are hard to be judged. But if you communicate with some strangers, you must wear N95 or KN95 facial masks. In the contained or controlled or temporary controlled areas, they must also wear these 2 types of facial masks. So to our civilians, we advise you that when you receive the packages, you should wear the facial masks and the disposable gloves, so as to have contactless engagement with the delivery people. If you have to sign off the packages face-to-face, we advise you to go outdoor for the settlement. and do not take those packages into your houses. You should dispose them in the garbage bins immediately, and after the disposal, you should change your facial mask and disinfect your hands. You should not touch your nose, eyes, or mouth with the unclean hands. So that's all the information I'd love to share about the reminders. Now, as to the readjustment of the risk levels in Beijing, until 2nd of May 2022, in 18里店 of Chaoyang, and the cumulative cases in the past 14 days stood at 6 in Chaoyang Township of Jinqiao Guji Gongyu have reported 7 confirmed cases in the past 2 weeks, according to the municipal CDC review, and in line with the risk level rules starting from today. 18里店 Village, 周家庄 and Chaoyang Township, 加州水郡东 Community, 金桥国际公寓 will be elevated to high risky areas. Until the end of May the 2nd, Jinsong Street of Chaoyang District, Rongguangli neighborhood, has reported 4 cases in the past 14 days. In Fengstai District, Suzhuang Sanlu community of Jilu Street reported 3 cases in the past 14 days. And in Chaoyang District of Jinzhan Village, Jinzhan Jiayuan No. 2 community, and in Fengshan District, Doudian Township, Xiaguodian Village, Doudian Township, Yuanzhuang Village, in Tongzhou District, Yuyan Township, Yongshun Township, Yongshun Xili neighborhood, and Luchun Township, Haobeiying Village, Beiyuan Street, Guanyuan community, Yuqiao Street, Meili community have reported 2 cases respectively in a cumulative way. And as reviewed by the CDC branch in Beijing and in line with the risk level requirement in Beijing, starting from today, the Rongguangli community, Jinzhan Jiayuan No. 2 community, Suzhuang Sanli community, Xiaguodian Village, and Yuanzhuang Village of Doudian Township, Yuyan Township, Yurui Xili neighborhood, and in Yongshun Township, Yongshun Xili community, in Luchong Township, Haobeiying Village, Beiyuan Street, Guanyuan community, Yuqiao Street, Kebudian Beili community will be elevated to medium-level risk areas. Up until now, there are in total 12 high-risky areas cumulatively and 34 medium-level risk areas cumulatively. All the other places in the city are identified as low-risk areas. Thank you. Now let's give the floor to Madame Yang Beibei, Deputy Mayor of Chaoyang District, to brief us about the pandemic in Chaoyang District specifically. And now please allow me to present to you the information in Chaoyang District. Up until 4 p.m. on the May the 3rd, the newly added confirmed cases are 25 in Chaoyang District, 2 are asymptomatic areas, and 26 of the people are found in the controlled areas, and 1 was found in the society. They were all transferred to the designated hospitals, and they belonged all to mild cases. As to the details, first of all, there are some newly added risky points. Hongyan Supermarket, starting from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Meizhouli Restaurant, on the 25th of April, Hongyan Food Market, and Dawanlu Subway A exit from 6 p.m. to 1 the next day, Yuzhouli Restaurant, from 1810, Jinkelong Supermarket, Guanghuili Store. On April the 26th, starting from the midnight to 1:05, Xinyuxin Supermarket, Dawanglu Store. From 6 to 15 p.m., the CBD Store. And from 7 to 21 p.m., Hongyan Supermarket, Dawanglu Subway Station A exit, and from 9:50 to 22, the CBD restaurant, and starting from 10 to 10:50, the tea stores, and in Yanjingli community, the fresh market, from 11 to 11:40, Jinkelong Supermarket, Guanghuili store, from the noontime to 2 p.m., Yizhaomei the Fitness Club, Jianwai Soho store, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., the CBD number 1 office building, 3001 office. And from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., Guanghuali Feiyang Barber Shop. From 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., the Walmart. And from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., Guanghuili number 7 building, the lottery store, Xidawanglu store. And on April the 27th at 9 a.m., Lanbao Gongyuan. And from 9 a.m., Guanghuili Community Guanghui Noodle Store, and at 9, Jinkelong Supermarket Guanghuili Store, and Dawanglu Subway Station A exit. 7 p.m. Qingnianhui Jiayuan number 8 building, 6th floor Jibei Studio. At 11, Shihuoli Dongli 106, the barbecue store, and at 11, Jinkelong Supermarket. At noontime, Guanghuili Community number 6 building, 1st floor, the maintenance store for cell phones. At noontime, Shihuoli Baolu Dongjun number 1 building, the 1st floor, the noodle store. And at 5 p.m., Jianguomen Wai Street number 1, CBD office building number 1, 3001. At 5, Guanghuili Community East Door Guanghui Noodle Store. At 6 p.m., Xingyuxin Supermarket Dawanglu Store. At 6 p.m., Guanghuili number 7 building, China Lottery Store, Xidawanglu Store. On the 28th of April, at 2 to 3, Xingyuxin Supermarket. At 9:40 to 9:50, Qingnianhui Jiayuan Neighborhood number 8 building and 6th floor Jimei Studio. From 9:50 to 9:55, Naturally Ju number 30th building, the 1st floor vendor store, and also Bianlifeng convenience store, Qingnianhui store. And at 9:30, Shiboying Dongli number 106 building, and from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., Wuniu, the food market. At 10 p.m., Xianggan restaurant. On April the 30th, at 8 a.m., Shifolin Dongli 106 store. At noontime till 1 p.m., Tuofangli West Door, the noodle store. And until 8 p.m., number 301 building, and at 7 p.m., Baiziwan Dongli 2/1 pharmacy, Baiziwan South Road, and on May the 1st, number 106, the barbecue store. Until 8 p.m., Shimen Donglu, number 301 building. At 3 p.m., Guomei Diyichen Luwoniu Food Market. At 5 to 6 p.m., Baixing Canlan Baiziwan store. If you share similar and overlapping traveling history with the above-mentioned places, please report to your local village, your entity, or your community, or you can call the Chaoyang District Disease Control Office. And second of all, as to the handling of those cases, Chaoyang District took quick actions to have the epidemiology survey to control the risky points. And according to the latest nucleic acid test results, Liaojiayuan Dongli number 7 and Jingzhan Village, Jingzhan Jiayuan City District number 8 and number 9 buildings, and Jingzhan Jiayuan number 15 building, Jingsong Street, Wangguang Dongli 28th building, Shibalidian Village, Shijizhihe Village 115, 116, 162, 163, 169, 170, 171, 172, 173 are now coined as contained areas. They cannot go out of their doorsteps. Jingzhanxiang, Jingzhan Jiayuan A zone, B zone, C zone, and D zone, and Shibalidian Xiang number 8, 9, and 10 risky areas are now set as the controlled areas. Unless necessary, they are not going to go out of their doorsteps. And also, for all the places that have been frequented by the positive cases, for example, the CBD Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, including office buildings, restaurants, and hotels, will be in our temporary control. And for all the stores, restaurants, barber shop, the entertainment places, fitness clubs, movie theaters, they will be forbidden to be in operation. And since April the 25th until the 29th, if you have paid visits to the Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 of the CBD Trade Center, starting from the 3rd to the 8th of May, you will be staying at home, and please minimize your outings. Do not go to the public places. Unless necessary, you are not allowed to go out of your doorsteps. And for the above-mentioned people, on May the 3rd, 5th, 4th, 7th, you will have to take 4 times of nucleic acid tests. And on May the 9th, if you have the negative test results within the last 48 hours, you will resume your production and your work. And after the disinfection, the places can be cancelled. The temporary control. Jingwai Street, Guanghuili will be in our temporary control. Starting from today, it will be put into our control for 4 days, and they're not allowed to go out. And for the civilians living in there, please conform to the temporary control measures and stay at home. There will be some observation about the safety of the environment and the people. For the stay-at-home civilians, on the 1st and 4th day, you will be subject to 2 rounds of nucleic acid test results. If they are both negative, you can cancel your current state. And in the next step, based on your epidemiology survey and the nucleic acid tests, there will be some relative measures to be taken. Second of all, for the regional level nucleic acid test screening, today we hold the 5th round of tests covering 1,400 testing stations. And in certain neighborhoods, there are some dedicated lanes for the elderly people and the children. And also for the medics on the site, there will be more service guarantee in terms of their need for water and their food delivery. Now, we have already taken 3.4 million samples up until 4 p.m. today. We urge all of our civilians to put on your facial masks and keep safe social distance with others when you're doing the test. Third of all, with the green channel in place, there will be more service guarantee in the contained and controlled areas to guarantee the life necessity supply in a steady phase and the abundant supply in the temporary control areas. We will smooth away the delivery. Jinkelong, Wumei, Dingdong, and 10 other enterprises have reviewed and dispatched their passes for the vehicles and people for delivery services, and we also have some replenishments in place. On the 2nd of May, 19 vehicles were dispatched to enter into the temporary controlled areas in the form of the packages of vegetables, eggs, and meat. And third of all, we give full play to the online platforms. From 12 on May the 1st to 12 May the 2nd, 15 online platforms have offered 70,000 orders for the temporary controlled areas to meet the residents' needs. And also, we took multiple measures to guarantee abundant supply and stable prices of the life necessities in the areas. We have dispatched 4 teams to be stationed for review in the prioritized areas, and also the volunteers team is in place, including 400 people. They will review 2,300 different stores and outlets. And second of all, we will further expand our medical channels. There are, for example, the community-level health stations, health centers, and the Chaoyang Hospital has also set aside a dedicated lane by the dedicated medics. And the community-level cages and volunteers will be in connection with them through the phone calls and other channels. There will be different lists of the medications, for example, the list of mild diseases. And based on the needs of the patient, we will prescribe in a customized way to reduce the number of visits in the temporary controlled areas to avoid overlapping infection. We have served 1,900 patients, including 4 pregnant women, until the noontime today, and the cages were decentralized to the community level. Since the end of April, over 20,000 cages have participated in the grassroots level pandemic prevention and control in Chaoyang district. They were like the checkpoints, and they coordinate closely with the community level in the nucleic acid tests, or they will help the civilians to deliver the vegetables and food or to pursue medical needs, greatly relieving the pressure and anxiety of the civilians. By working together, we will have some big way of conquering the virus. I would love to thank all of the people supporting our pandemic control. That's all I would love to share. Next, let's give the floor to Liu Chengfei from Fengstai district. Dear media friends, good afternoon. Allow me to introduce the pandemic situation in Fengstai district. Up until now, there are newly added 14 confirmed cases in Fengstai district. 9 were found in the centralized quarantine sites. 3 were from the contained areas and 2 in controlled areas. First of all, there are some new risky points. On the 27th of April, in the morning, Fengshan Line, Gugunzhong Station, and from line number 9, Fengtai CGTN Station. Fengtai区, South 4th Ring, 188, Xilu Street, Suzhuang Gongchuang Building, at 5 p.m. until 6 p.m. Line 9 Subway, Gugunzhong Station, Kejiyuan Station, and Fengshan Line Nanguan Station. On April the 28th at 9 a.m., Xilu Street, Suzhuang Dajie Haoyikang Pharmacy. At 5:30 p.m., Gongchuang Building, Anhui Noodles Store. And on the 29th of April at 9 a.m., Xilu Street, Suzhuang Yili number 19th building, first floor, the alcohol and smoke store, and Xilu Jiedao Gongchuang building. At 6 p.m., Xilu Street West Door Fengwei Restaurant. At 6 p.m., Xilu Street West Door Yongshun Fried Chicken Store. At 6 p.m., Xilu Street West Door Lao Ma Barbecue Store. At 6 p.m., Xilu Street North Door Fengchao Delivery Cabinets. And on April the 30th, 3 p.m., Xilu Street Suzhuang Sanli number 17th building, first floor, Baiguo Yuan Fruit Market. The people were found in the controlled areas. And for any new risky points, we will publish the information to the public. So we urge you to pay attention to the newly added risky places. If you have overlapping traveling history with the above mentioned places, please report to us. Second of all, as the containment measures. We take quick actions to control and contain those risky points. We put our eyes closely on those risky places with the dedicated teams. Instantly, we will follow the regions, and second of all, we will continue our nucleic acid tests. Yesterday, we completed the fourth round of tests. Starting from today, in 3 days in a row, there will be 3 other rounds of nucleic acid test. Such a test will allow us to curb the transmission from the origin. So we urge our civilians to go back to your home after the end of your sample taking, and do not go out of your home unless necessary. And please support the following 3 rounds of nucleic acid test. And right now in Fengstai district, we are at a very critical moment in preventing and curbing the transmission of the virus. Please coordinate with our epidemiology survey and offer us accurate information. The information you offer to us will be very significant for curbing the transmission of the virus. With your support, we will work around the clock and fight against the time to win this battle. Next, let's give the floor to the Beijing Municipal Education Commission, Mr. Li, to introduce about the educational arrangement since the end of the May Day holiday. Dear media friends, good afternoon. Based on the situation of the pandemic in Beijing, we take quick, accurate, and stringent measures, and to coordinate with the screening and to guarantee the safety of the faculties, thus curbing the transmission on campuses. In line with the overall pandemic containment measures, since the end of the May Day holiday, the education of the schools and the pandemic prevention and control will abide by the following measures. First, middle school, kindergarten, primary schools, and vocational schools. First of all, we will delay the time of return to school by encouraging online education. After the end of the May Day holiday, all kindergartens, primary schools, and middle schools will suspend another week of education on campuses, starting from the 5th to 11th of May. As to the detailed time of return to the campuses, we will publish the information based on the pandemic situation. During this time, the online classrooms and some other platforms will continue the services of education. Different districts must take customized measures by making your curriculum design, and you must come up with a detailed plan by arranging different grades, different classes to have some stay-at-home schooling plans so that there will be seamless connection between online classrooms and the offline studies. For the junior 3 and grade 3 or senior grade 3 students, they must have some online tutoring, Q&A sessions, and some mock video conferencing. We must take full advantage of the online platforms by offering individualized tutoring based on the levels of the students so that the students will get targeted and precise and accurate review. And second of all, the faculties in the schools must honor their duties as well. With online tutoring and classes still going on, they must hold themselves accountable as to the places and the time they will be arranged by the schools. And I have to emphasize that the schools must advise the faculties to mentor the students psychologically. There will be several rounds of counseling and communication with the students so that they will be fully prepared and be mentally prepared, especially for the pandemic situation, and get adjusted to the situation in a positive way, especially for grade 3 in junior high school and high school, so that they will not panic. And we must also educate the parents so that there will be close coordination between the parents and the schools. Different grades and different levels of faculties must do a focused job on consoling the parents. Third, as to the health observation and nucleic acid test. According to the whole city's requirement, on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of May, there will be 3 rounds of nucleic acid tests. So for the parents and the students, you must coordinate with the 3 rounds of nucleic acid tests at the designated time points in order to curb the further transmission of the virus. Schools in different districts must have a 0 case reporting system in place and help to have a health check of different families and their traveling histories. And also, they must be responsible for guiding the students to have regular exercises and a good diet in order to build their immune system. Fourth, take comprehensive measures to execute the priorities recently. For grade 3 students in junior school and high schools, right now they might be at the stage of the mock examination. So different schools and in different districts will have a combination of online and offline services so that the homework and the review will be going on smoothly. In May, there will be the Zhongkao of PE incoming, so we will adhere to the fairness principle to arrange the time of examination to avoid any gathering of population. And also, we will change our examination manner. For example, we may take a measure of collective examination, or we may go to the respective schools of the students for such an examination in order to minimize the risk for the students. So please be reassured. At that time, the districts will have the detailed plans, and the schools will inform the students and parents accordingly. Second, for the higher learning institutions, there will be stringent entrance and exit management. First of all, for the faculties in and out of the campus. For the students and the faculties living on the campus, in principle, they are not going to go out of the campus unless they are in seek of internship or the medical help. They need approval. For the people going out of the campus, they must go to the designated place and come back immediately. And there will be increased frequency of nucleic acid test. And also, we advise online office work. For the students and faculties out of the campus, if they have to go to the campus because of some work requirements, they must hold their report of nucleic acid test in the last 48 hours. And for the people living on campus, the families of the faculties living on the campus must be checked stringently with the nucleic acid test within the last 48 hours, the health code and the green code. Unless necessary, they are not allowed to go out of the campus. And the living space of the students and the family's living space must be separated to avoid the overlapping visits between the two groups of people. And third, for the caring of the faculties, we will reinforce our publicity work and education work for the faculties and students so that there will be abundant material supply on the campus, and we will respond to the concerns of the faculties and the students immediately, and their lives will be in order. Last but not least, I have to say that to delay the return to schools and the online schooling might be a hurdle to our faculties and the students. And our parents may face more disturbances. Many parents who have to go to work may have difficulty in nursing their children, but at this stage, in order to maximize our examination of the risky points and to curb the transmission of the virus, that is the best way out. In front of the virus, safety of the children comes first. At this moment, we are in need of joint hands to conquer the difficulties, and we are in need of the understanding of the society. Let's safeguard the health and the safety of the children together. That's all I can share. Thank you. Next, let's give the floor to the quarantine team expert, Director Li Ang from Beijing Municipal Health Commission, to brief us about the arrangement of the nucleic acid test stations. According to the arrangement, on May the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, except Mengtougou, Pinggu, Huairou, Miyun, Yanqing, we will hold 3 rounds of all-mass nucleic acid test in other places. And in 5 other areas, we will hold nucleic acid tests among the prioritized places and the population. Today, the test is going on very smoothly. Thank you for your coordination and understanding. And a reminder for the people who are going to the 5 ecological preserves, you should go to the neighboring nucleic acid test stations for the test. After another 3 rounds of the test, we will have a re-evaluation of the overall status to decide on the other policies upcoming. Recently, there will be stringent policies concerning getting in or out of Beijing. For the regular nucleic acid test, we are fully prepared. Different districts will consider the geographical features, the population distribution, and the mobility of the population in the district to arrange the localization of the test stations. Right now, the site selection arrangement and the personnel arrangement are being prepared. The regular stations will be published to the public to offer convenience for your sample taking. And based on the feedback of the civilians, there will be dynamic adjustment of the test stations. Thank you. Next, we open the floor to questions. From China News Service, my question goes to Li Yi. Postponing the returning time to the schools may be very demanding to the students, especially for the students in grade 3. They are in phase of the Zhongkao and Gaokao examinations. So what's the arrangement to soothe those groups of students? Thank you for the questions. I have to admit that such an arrangement is very challenging for grade 3 students because now they are in the sprint stage towards the examinations. And because of the different situations in different districts, some students may be in phase of the mock examinations in the 2nd or the 3rd rounds. So there will be some suggestions to those students. First of all, please prepare carefully for the online examinations. In the past 2 years, our experience of fighting against the virus allowed the schools, especially those students in grade 3, are prepared for such situations. It's fully capable of a combination of online and offline schooling. Especially, we must give advantage to the role of online schooling in review and examination taking. We advise the students to ask as many questions as possible online to your teachers in order to improve the efficiency of your review work. Secondly, in the sprint stage, I believe that the students have already been at a high level of the knowledge accumulation. So you must pay more attention to the other sectors, for example, a balanced diet, abundant sleep, and proper exercise to build your immune system. And also, please try to pay attention to your mental health. At this moment, you might be worried about your less preparation for the examination and the virus. So in that regard, the parents and the teachers will set sights on this group of students. We advise the teachers to do counseling work, and also we advise the parents to console their children to be relaxed. While you are staying at home, you should communicate more frequently with your teachers and your classmates so as to locate your problems and improve the frequency of your homework. I have to say that not just the students in grade 3, all the other students must prevent the virus transmission and coordinate with the communities in the test. And the parents should not take your children to the places with higher density of population. And the family members living together with the students should try to avoid traveling on the business terms. If you do have to, try to quarantine yourself from the children. Any more questions? From CMG. Mr. Li, based on the requirement of postponing the return to the school. Some students give us feedback that they haven't taken their materials or textbooks back home, so how to handle that? And some parents are under pressure of caring for their children when they are staying at home. So what are your suggestions? Thank you for the questions. I know those questions are at the hearts of the parents. Indeed, postponing the time of return to the schools will be challenging. Some students are still leaving behind their belongings or their textbooks at their schools. Don't worry about that. Our schools and your tutors will package your belongings. After today's presser, many faculties will come to the schools tomorrow to prepare for that packaging. In the past 2 years, they already have accumulated some experience, so they have some means of guaranteeing the safe transfer of those belongings to the students, some through the delivery, some through the picking up by the parents. So please be reassured, when the students are not making to the schools, the faculties will be on their posts to give back those belongings. As to studying at home, as I said, we already have some experience in the past 2 years of not stopping the study while staying at home. So we are more mature in that. We're more at ease. Different platforms and schools will offer services to the kids. We emphasize that the online classes and the offline self-learning could complement each other. With such a connection, we can orderly carry out our curriculum designs, and we can continue to hit our goals of education. Staying at home study doesn't mean that the students will study all the time online. Instead, there will be some offline activities for the students. You should have a scientific arrangement for your daily lives. So, as to your next question about the pressure on the parents, after all, now the stay-at-home schooling is the best way to curb the further transmission of the virus on the campuses. And to some degree, the parents, the teachers, and the students will have some changes of their work and life. For the tutors in charge, they must keep in close contact with the parents and the students so that the kids will learn well at home. I have to say that such an exceptional arrangement will be influential over the parents. We are in need of your help just for the purpose of the health and safety of the kids. We have to readjust our lives, and we call upon the employers of those parents and the whole society to be understanding of our students and their parents. Please join hands with us to safeguard the health of the kids. Thank you, Mr. Li. Thank you all, and this is the end of today's presser.